Hi, everyone. We are talking about delegation. How do you effectively delegate to your team at the office, in your business, or perhaps actually with your family actually as well? So my name is Dr. Karen. If we haven't met, I'm the CEO and co-founder of DK Leadership. We are a global leadership coaching company. I'm also the co-founder of a leadership academy called Success Intelligence. And this is actually one of the modules we actually teach. So I thought this will be a perfect topic that has been coming up with a lot of our clients. So whether or not you are a professional, a practice owner, practitioner, you are an entrepreneur, a business owner, a manager, you're a parent. Delegation changes things. And so we have to learn how do we effectively delegate. So I will share with you just some fun little stats on this. I thought this was actually really interesting. This is a good one. 10% of a business owner's workload, if 10% of a business owner's workload would drive 20% of business growth if it were delegated. I just want you to think about that. Just absorb that, everybody. 10% of a business owner's workload would drive 20% of business growth if it were delegated. So for a lot of the business owners, and we work with companies, we work with small boutique companies, we work with giant companies, really on leadership development, business growth. And this topic comes up a lot around that business owners, they want to grow their practice, they want to grow their business. And so how do you do that? Well, delegation is part of the superpower. This is another interesting stat. 10%, this comes out of Forbes, 10% of managers actually know how to empower others. This is based on, the Forbes was actually citing research that came out of London Business School. Only 10% of managers actually know how to delegate. And so this is a superpower. You know, when we, again, work with lots of different businesses, for a lot of people that we work with, the pain point is time. I don't have enough time. And so if we want to give ourselves more time, it means that we need to start delegating. So this is both at the office with our team and with our family, because too often we are seeing with family members that, you know, the parents, the adults are doing all the work and they're not delegating with their children. And so, if you don't know my background, my doctorate's in marriage and family. So I'm both a registered therapist and an executive coach, a business coach. And so one of the things that we do in our academy, our leadership academy, is we teach leadership skills that you can apply to both parts of your life. So leadership skills that can actually really help you on the business side and also help you in the family side. And guess what? The great thing is it's the same tools. We just kind of reshape them. And this topic is certainly one of them. So, okay, let's dive in. I'm going to give you three things, three ways to actually really help you learn how to delegate. And some of this might be kind of intuitive and you'll kind of know this, and other parts will be kind of new for you. So here's the first one. The three identifies, I call the three identifies. And again, this is one of our modules that we have in our Leadership Academy. So the first one is you have to identify with what tasks to delegate. It sounds so intuitive, but that's exactly really with what it is. Years ago, I did executive coaching. I was a participant of executive coaching, which I found really helpful. I think it's great. I think everybody needs coaches. We all need people in our life that can teach us different skills, different tools, different frameworks, help us maybe see and understand our blind spots a little bit. I think it's just a really, really great thing to do. So I did that. I loved it. And so one of the things that our executive coach actually had us do is basically have a pen and paper beside your computer or on your desk for a week and start actually keeping a log on how you are spending your time. What are the tasks you are actually doing that is absorbing all of your time? Okay, just make a log. Okay, just start kind of making a huge list. Do that in the office. Now I also want you to do that when you actually get home. Start making a list, keeping a log, an audit on all the different things that you do. And just for the first week, just keep an audit. Okay, that's the first thing. And then once you actually have that data, then the second part to it is to really take a highlighter and highlight the parts that you love. What are the parts in the office with your business? Let's say you're a practice owner, you're a business owner. Highlight the parts. What are the parts you love to do? And highlight that in yellow. And then circle in red the things that you really do not like to do. It's draining. It's exhausting. Do the same exercise on your list with the tasks you actually do at home. And there you have it. Once you have that data And I'm a visual person. I love things in pictures. I love things in color. Once you have that in front of you, it's like, okay, this is my roadmap. These are the tasks I actually need to start actually delegating. So that's just kind of like the first part. Okay. So that's kind of step one, is just really identify in terms of what tasks you actually want to develop. The second part is obviously who to delegate to. So I'm going to give you tactics that you can actually apply to work and actually home. So starting with work, who to delegate to. So for a lot of small businesses that we work with, obviously look at your team, look at the internal team. One of the things that's really interesting, when I started working and expanding our company almost 20 years ago, working with organizations, my specialty was really on teenagers and millennials entering the workforce, and really teaching senior leadership teams about the multi-generational workforce. That's kind of was my entry point from family systems into organizational systems. And what was interesting is one of the things that I saw a lot, and I still see this today because it's still one of my most requested topics when we work and do training with companies, is a lot of young people, especially, if they get bored, they disengage. So you want to really pay attention. Are you giving enough work, especially to your younger employees, your younger team members? And a lot of times the messaging that I hear from people is like, well, yeah, but I don't want to overwhelm them. I don't want to give them too much. I don't want them to feel overwhelmed. Everyone's got so much anxiety these days. And what I find is very interesting, again, obviously get to know your team members, but a lot of young people, the next generation, they're used to multitasking. They like to have lots of things to do. And if they are not being challenged and they're bored, they a lot of times disengage, and then you might actually really lose some great talent. So my encouragement is start with the team you actually have. Look at your piece of paper and all the tasks that you've actually written out, and think to yourself, who in my team would be maybe a good candidate that I could actually start training for this particular role. So start certainly in your team. And then obviously if that person does not exist in your team, then obviously you have to look externally. And I would actually start with your team members that you actually have and ask, do they have any friends or colleagues that they actually think would be a great fit? One of the things when we talk about strategies about attracting really great talent is what I have found, great people know great people. So people that have high EQ often have friends with high EQ, because EQ is subconsciously, we're attracted to people with the same EQ that we have. So if you've got a team member that is just amazing and you really love them, but they just don't have capacity or maybe the skill set for this particular task that you want to delegate to, start getting the word out saying, you know what, we're actually going to be hiring for a few different roles. These are some of the roles that we're looking for. Does anybody know somebody that you think would be a great candidate? And so start with your current team members, and then maybe friends or family of great team members. And if you're still not getting any, then obviously you've kind of got to go to external sites, different websites and recruiting sites for that. But that is, and my encouragement when you're actually recruiting for great talent is you want to look for people who have both the IQ and the EQ. The IQ, they have the technical skill, but EQ, emotional intelligence, which is actually with what we specialize in. And you want to make sure that they have the EQ. So there's EQ is called emotional intelligence. It kind of looks at 5 different sub skills. We've got a fabulous scorecard. If you have not gotten your hands on our scorecard, down below, right? Leadership in the comments. Somebody from my team will actually send it to you. You're going to want this. This is a really great scorecard, especially when you're going to be hiring. You want to kind of know, these are the kind of skills I need to be looking for when I'm actually hiring. So it's a fabulous scorecard. And you can also get your current team members to actually do it as well. So when you're actually hiring somebody now from the outside, make sure they have the IQ, the technical skill, but also they have the EQ skill. And like I said, you can use my scorecard as a great reference for that. On the home front, same thing. Look internal. Do you have a spouse, a partner? Do you have children? Are you delegating to your kids? As a mother of 16-year-old twins, and also wife of almost coming up on 22 years, I got a team at home. There's 4 of us. And one of the things that I actually really try to do, my husband and I, is we really try to emphasize team. We are a team. I am not the servant. I am not your personal driver. I am not your housekeeper. I am your mom, and I'm also a team member. And there's lots of things that we have to do to run this family well. So here is the list of all the items that we have to do, and I need people to start signing up. And so my husband and I have really created a fabulous system on really for families on really teaching and delegating jobs to children. I really recommend chores. I think chores are really important for that mindset around teamwork. And so if you're not part of our Leadership Academy, I recommend you join, because we have all kinds of different tools and courses and things that we teach parents and families on teaching leadership to your family. But delegation, chores, I'm a big advocate around allowance when it's done properly to help kind of encourage chores. So that needs to be a whole other module, because there's a very specific way, if you're going to do allowance, that you structure it. Otherwise, it can massively backfire. So I'll save that for a different video. But just for this topic, we're talking about delegating. I'd be looking to your children and your spouse, your partner, if you have one, and really start thinking about what are the different jobs that you can actually start delegate to them. Okay, so that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is, how do you delegate? So how do you delegate? So you have to really kind of assess, like if you've got, at the office, one of the things that I find really important and really, really critical when we're talking about delegating is a lot of people will say comments like, well, I know delegation's a good thing to do, but I don't have the time. Or, I'd rather just do it myself, because then I know it's getting done well, or it's getting done properly. Or I've tried that before and it backfired. So I'll get kind of comments like that before, all of which are true. It does take time, and sometimes it does backfire. You're right. And my encouragement is, try again. Okay, try again. The best way to do it is we have to really be honest with the amount of skill that the person has. So where the misstep I find is, and obviously it depends on the level of leader within your organization, if it's an emerging manager or a senior leader, obviously, but just kind of high level right now. Look at their current amount of skill set, and look at their current amount of skill set, and how much collaboration and how much kind of mentoring do you actually do in that particular role. The big mistake that I have found when we've worked with a lot of teams is a manager will give a job to somebody, and then they kind of walk away and they kind of leave them. And they don't do any follow-up. They don't do any kind of check-ins. They don't have any milestones. They don't have any metrics in terms of whether or not that job's being done. And then they kind of come back and they're like, oh my goodness, this is done totally wrong. And then they're really upset, and then they kind of give up on delegation. And what you want to do is really be honest and realistic with yourself. The person that you do, let's say you've figured out the tasks, you've figured out the person, you're super pumped, you're now going to start delegating to them. Be fair about it. Be very clear about what you expect. Be very clear about what you want them to do, what the timelines are that they have to be doing those particular tasks. Also figure out the frequency of feedback and check-ins, and also making sure that you are available for help in between the different check-ins. Get all of that kind of structurally figured out, because especially when somebody is new in their role, they're going to have more questions. So you might actually have to have more check-ins, more metrics, more collaboration, more measurable goals, more defined dates. And then as you kind of see and you can actually build your trust because they're doing a great job, then you can kind of like backpedal, right? So that's what you want to do on the work side. On the home side, the same thing. When you're finally starting to delegate to your children or your spouse, and let's say with your, again, spouses or partners, delegate. Let me give cooking for example. Okay, like with my boys, with my twins, we're trying to now really teach them in terms of how to cook. So step 1 is I cook, they watch. Step 2 is they cook, I watch, and I give feedback. This part's amazing. Next time, just do this bit different. Step 3 is I sit back and enjoy the meal. So there's a bit of a dance when you're delegating to somebody. It's not like a one and done. It's you teach and you step back. You teach and you step back, and lots of praise, lots of affirmation, as well as, next time do ABC. So you give that constructive feedback and you give lots of praise. People feel good about themselves when they grow. People feel good about themselves when they've got new tasks, new responsibilities. Delegation is a superpower. It is going to free you. It is going to give you more time. It's going to give you more emotional capacity, mental capacity. It's so good on so many fronts, but it does take time up front that will save you time. Okay, so my encouragement is hopefully these 3 steps you have found really helpful. Make sure you like our YouTube channel. If you've got if you want to get the scorecard, write leadership down below. Somebody from my team will actually send that to you. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get to know, get other videos when they actually come up. If you have a topic you would like me to cover, write that suggestion down below, and definitely check out our other videos. We got lots of videos. So have fun, everybody, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. You found this really helpful, and I look forward to seeing you at one of our other YouTube videos.